And welcome to our joint special meeting. Okay, we're good just like this? Okay, can you guys hear me? Zoom? Yes, nodding. Omar, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, once again, welcome this evening to our joint meeting between the City Council, Planning Commission, and Parks and Recreation and Arts Commission. This is our special meeting regarding our vision workshop. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:05. And can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can you guys please remain standing for a moment of silence for first responders and military members? Thank you. Thank you. So at this moment, we're going to take a roll call. We'll start with the City Council, Monica.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto.
Present.
Councilmember Moran.
Present.
Councilmember King. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Mayor Aguilar.
Present.
For the record, Councilmember King and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia are not in attendance, but their absence is excused. Planning Commission roll call. Commissioner Judy. Commissioner Judy. Commissioner Bassi. Present. Commissioner Bath.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Roth.
Present.
Vice Chair Mendoza Gonzalez.
Present.
Chair Wallace.
Present.
For the record, Commissioner Judy is not in attendance. His absence is non-excused. Recreation roll call. Commissioner Mian.
Present.
Commissioner Becerra. Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Marshall. Commissioner Dole. Commissioner Gudinez.
Present.
Commissioner Herrera.
Present.
For the record, Commissioners Becerra, Fernandez, Marshall, and Dole are not attendance, but their absence is excused.
Thank you, Monica. At this time, we'll discuss any changes to the agenda. Council, any changes? Planning Commission, any changes to the agenda? And Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission, any changes to the agenda?
No.
Thank you. I don't see any. So we'll move on to our citizen comments before the workshop. At a special meeting, members of the public wishing to address the council for any matter on the agenda may do so at the time the matter is discussed. Note, under the provisions of California Government Code, the City Council is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any item on the agenda. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. At this moment, do you have any citizen comments before we begin the workshop? No comments in the room, on the phone, via Zoom. Any comments from citizens at this time? Okay, I don't hear any. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our joint meeting workshop. I'm gonna introduce our facilitator, Jacqueline Rao, PhD for Empowerment Strategies, Fresno, California. Before we get her started, we're gonna have our city manager say a few words. Jose Ramirez. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mayor. First, I would like to just thank everybody who's present and those who are on Zoom or on the phone. This is a really great opportunity for different stakeholders and constituents in our community to participate in a goal setting and visioning session for the next couple of years. And we've actually had these in the past, and Dr. Jacqueline Ryle has been our facilitator then, and they've worked out very wonderful. So thank you for those of you who've participated over the years. And so again, the theme of tonight is we just want you to, there's different categories and that we've kind of posted on the board over here. And folks who are on Zoom will be able to, any comments, they can either communicate them out loud or they can put them on the chat box that you have. And then those of you who are at home, again, you can either email them, to ourselves, to me, to the city manager email, or you can communicate them out loud as well. So again, feel free to participate, to communicate as much as you want. Now, in terms of why we're doing this is very important because, as you know, we're starting a new year. We have a new elected official here. We got, we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to provide their insight in terms of the direction that the city should go. And so more heads is better than one. And so this is a great opportunity to be able to share your thoughts, your goals, and your projections, okay? So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Ryle, and thank you, Dr. Ryle, for making yourself available, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much, Jose. I really appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate that I've had an opportunity to work with Livingston in the past. The last time I was there was in 2017. My hope is that next time I'll be there again with you. But thank you so much for the opportunity for all of us who are able to participate remotely, as well as those that are there in the chamber. To outline the background a little bit, when we met previously, and the really good, strong thing about this process is that it is a process, that we don't meet once in a while and just do the same thing over, that it's an ongoing process. And each time you sit down to reflect on these things, you're building upon the past, and you are taking what you've done and learned and projecting that into the future. So as Mr. Ramirez indicated, there are charts on the wall, and we'll be talking about what those are when we get into content. To begin the process, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to ask the folks that certainly that are present there in the chamber, if each will introduce themselves into a microphone that I may be able to hear. The name, your role, and I like everyone that's participating this evening to respond to 3 questions. And here's the test. In 6 words or less in each one of these questions. That's the test. That makes us really focus. When you introduce yourself, if you would say your name, your role, and give a response to these 3 things. Number 1, what is the greatest opportunity that has come out of this pandemic? What's the greatest opportunity that you've seen emerge during this time? Number 2, what would you like to see either in place or well underway on June 30th, 2022, a little over a year from now? In place or well underway? And number 3, what would you like to see in place or well underway on June 30th, 2024? So let me ask this. Those that are in the chamber, if you would respond in voice so that we can hear that. And it's being recorded. All of this is the whole session is being recorded. And I will be using notes that I'm making and all the recording to do a summary as I have in the past so that you have a working document as you go forward. Those that are attending remotely, after the folks that are there face-to-face have responded, you may also respond in voice, or if you prefer, you can respond in the chat box, or you can do an email as Mr. Ramirez indicated. So that the whole idea is this is very, very interactive, and everyone has an opportunity to be heard, to have their voice, and to have their comments registered. When we have all of those comments at the close of the meeting, those comments and the other things that will be generated, all of that, I will take that and I won't just transcribe it. I will be sure that I'm able to cluster those things so that you can see themes and areas of particular interest. And all that can be used by the city, by all of you decision makers in making your decisions as it relates to ongoing strategies, planning, and budgeting for your city. Any questions about this process?
Just real quick, can you repeat those questions for us one more time, please?
No questions?
Dr. Ryle, if you can repeat the two questions one more time. And then those of you
yes,
who
of
are
course.
online, if you can please
There
mute.
are three responses. The number one is this one. And remember, 6 words or less if you can do it, because we have a lot of folks and you know, and a structured period of time. The number one is, what is the greatest opportunity that has come out of this pandemic time? What's the greatest opportunity that you've seen come out of it? Number two, what would you like to see in place or well underway on June 30th, 2022 for your community, for your city? And number three, what would you like to see in place or well underway for your community on June 30th, 2024? In other words, looking ahead a year.
Can you guys please mute your phones or your devices, please? We can hear you.
So does that clear? And Mayor, as you can see the folks that are there with you in the room, if you would like to just call on them, that would be great.
Yes, thank you. We'll start off with Mr. Steve.
Thank you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Steve Bassi, and I am a planning commissioner with the city. And I think one of the greatest opportunities that came out of this pandemic is the education, basically, we learned about this pandemic and safety. And then what would I like to see in place or well underway for 2022? I think just a growth of the city in realms of in different dynamics, growth of the size of the city and bringing in new opportunities, and then in 2024, like to see some of those plans met that were said in 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Bassi. Perfect start. Perfect start. All right. Next.
David Bates. I'm the volunteer fire chief here in Livingston. I think the opportunity that I've seen out of the pandemic has been that for individual savings. Since nobody's been able to do anything, people have been able to save a little for their futures. What I'd like to see for 2022 is the community coming together, those who have been here for long periods of time and new residents coming together, creating a very successful centennial celebration in 2022. And for 2024, I would like to see, and pardon me if this sounds a little selfish, I'd like to see a new fire station in Livingston.
Okay. Thank you. Boy, excellent. Thank you so much. Next.
My name is Floripe, and I live here in Livingston. I have like more than 30 years, and what I can say about this pandemic, the opportunities do I see from this pandemic time. Right now, I don't have like good news to say about this right now. I have a bad situation right now here in Livingston, and because there's a lot of people that they're looking for a place, because here in the Harvest Garden apartment, there's a lot of like 10 families that they got the eviction notice. And I don't know how they say like stay at home when these people, they don't have a home right now. So on the 2022 or 24, I would like to see more houses, affordable houses, or for low income, or more apartment for low income. And I don't remember right now the name of the apartment right now where you can live and also you can still can buy your own apartment. I don't remember the name of this program. But I would like to see this happen here in Livingston.
All right. Thank you. Have that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Babs Ratzliff. I'm an ex-city council working at the museum, local museum. And my first answer to your first question is I'm hoping that all the shots or the vaccinations or whatever you call it will come about to everyone, because that's what's going to help us all. And
What is the best thing to be in place or well underway by June 30th?
okay, and in 2022, I'm involved, highly involved with the museum, the city recreation department here, and we're working very hard to become very knowledgeable with all the old chronicles from Livingston, and all the old timers, as being one of them myself. And in 2024, I'm 82, so I don't know if I'm going to be here. But I hope the city runs well like it is now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Do I have to? Hi, my name is Tony Silva. I'm the ex-city clerk for the last 12 years. And let me see what the greatest opportunities. And what I learned from this pandemic is people, if they stay together and watch each other, I think everything can be possible. I would like to see on the future for 2022, I would like to see more business in town. I would like to see more home, because there's a lot of shorter of housing here in Livingston. And for 2024, I would like to see all these goals be accomplished. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Silva, what was the last one? I missed the words on your last response.
On my last response, what I said for 2024, I would like to see all these goals be accomplished.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Next speaker.
Thank you. My name is Rodrigo Espinosa. I'm former mayor and current supervisor of Livingston and District 1. Well, I think one of the probably something that will come off of this time right now. We have a whole new young council and mayor, and I think the opportunity that we have is for them to work positively to improve our city and not to bring it down. Because that's where we have issues when the city is not run right. I think we have the greatest opportunity to work together to make a difference for the betterment community. The city has run out of city limits. I think by 2022, I would like to see that this city has moved the general plan, the planning of this community forward to enhance our city limits, in a conservative mode, not too big. And by 2024, the general plan is done, and that we have taken into consideration the fire department, public safety, recreation, and all the parks, and taking into consideration all the families that we have in Livingston, diversity, and look at affordable housing, and that's all taking consideration into the general plan, and looking forward to see this community thrive, and in much as I can help, I'll be here for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Espinosa. Next speaker.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Blanca Ojeda. I think one of the greatest things for me that came out of this pandemic would probably just be getting more familiar with technology. Mm-hmm. Had to use it a lot lately. And what I would like to see be in place for 2020, somebody mentioned they've heard a lot about folks losing their homes during this time. So it's been a lot on my mind. Just like to see maybe more the same thing, more affordable housing being built. Whatever is being built right now, hopefully at least we get, 15, 20%, maybe more, be built affordable housing. And in place for 2024, there is a thing that I've just recently become familiar with called the right to counsel. One of the things that I've also learned is a lot of tenants don't have representation, for example, going through eviction court. So I've learned a little bit about this, and maybe this is an idea the city can come up with for Livingston.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ojeda. Thank you very much. Next speaker.
And we'll continue finishing up here in person, and then we'll continue with the people joining us through your device. So go ahead.
Thank you.
Diego.
Good afternoon. Diego Castillo, resident of Livingston, real estate developer and business owner. One of the greatest opportunities that I believe during the pandemic was it has highlighted the importance of having a home because now we're working from home, we're teaching our kids from home, and it also allowed the general public, something I've been doing for over about a decade now, the ability to work from home and virtually meet from anywhere. One of the things I would like to have in place by June of 2022 is our VA housing project and our multifamily project on F Street to be completed. And for June of 2024, we want to be one of the contributors to adding workforce housing as well as single-family, multifamily, and townhouses for Livingston.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Castillo. Next speaker.
Hi.
So those were all face-to-face, Mayor?
Excuse me?
Those were all physically present speakers there?
Yeah, we still got more. We're still continuing.
More. Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Randy Hatch. I'm the city planner. And the greatest opportunity out of the pandemic was I regularly have weekly Zoom meetings with my children and grandchildren. And so that's new and that's appreciated. Things I'd like to see in place by June 22. Supervisor Espinosa mentioned some of this, but have our general plan finished and completed through a an interactive community process. And then what I'd like to see be in place for June 24 is under that general plan having annexing new land. We would have, as has been mentioned, more multifamily developments and more of a mix of commercial in our community.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hatch. Next speaker.
Good evening. I'm Vanessa Portillo, Finance Director here at the City of Livingston. I feel that one of the greatest opportunities from the pandemic has been the use of technology and how important it has been in order for us to continue to provide services to our residents and continue to connect with our staff and our kids at home as well, being able to be in school while still being in their PJs. And things that I like to see in place, by 2022, it will be more automation in terms of
you are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing star.
More automation within our process.
You, Vanessa.
Yes. No, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Is it my Wi-Fi out, or did we lose Vanessa?
No, it's.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay, can you hear me?
So I'm not sure who we lost.
Vanessa, are you there?
Yes.
I'm not showing that I have unstable internet at this moment. So,
Dr. Ryle, we can hear you okay. We probably muted
Monica,
folks on
can
this.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Dr. Ryle, I think we lost the city.
Oh.
This is, I show up as Bob, but I think we lost the city.
Okay.
I can see people, but I don't hear them.
Right, same here. And is it just you and I? Can anybody else hear Jackie or Bob?
This is Tom. I can hear you guys too.
Okay.
Yeah, I could hear you too.
I can hear you guys too. Okay. Monica? Okay. Let's stand by for a minute.
Are you talking to me, Monica, the resident, or Monica, the employee?
I think I'm talking to Monica, the resident, because your square is highlighting. You have a nice portrait with a red top.
No, I can't hear her.
Okay, folks, we'll be there. There was a button touched. So we'll be back.
In the meeting, this meeting is being recorded.
Start again, please, Monica. I missed your words a little bit right there.
Dr. Ryle, can you hear
The
me?
reconstruction of traditional models?
Traditional models.
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Ryle, can you hear us? Dr. Ryle, can you hear us now?
Yes, are you back?
We're back. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We had just gone ahead with Monica Cuevas Avila. I'll let her finish, and then I'll go back to Vanessa, okay?
Sounds good.
Great. Go ahead and finish up, Monica.
So for question number 2, what I would like to see is progressive ideas that would just uplift the community. taking care of the residents' basic needs. For question number 3, as far as June 2024 goes, what I would love to see is a stable, healthy community.
Okay, thank you. Good. All right, let me check back. Is Vanessa on hand?
Hi, Jackie. So can you hear
Hi,
me now?
Vanessa.
All right.
Sorry we lost you.
No worries. So I had written down that for 2022, I like to continue in the path of automation so we can be more accessible to our customers and have process improvements around our all around, the city processes. And then for 2024, I would like to ensure that the city has healthy reserves in order for us to be able to approach emergencies with, and just be able to sustain any unforeseen emergencies that come around.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Great. Got it. Okay. All right. And we got Monica Avila, who's next? Next speaker.
Go ahead, Jose. You go first.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jose Moran, council member. And something that I learned from this pandemic is obviously how to deal with viruses. That was something that I took for granted for a long time. And also I learned also to spend a lot more time with the family, being able to spend a lot of time at home. Something that I would like to see for 2022 is an improved internet infrastructure for the entire community and economic growth. Something that I would like to see for 2024 is more affordable housing.
Good. Got it.
Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Next speaker.
Councilmember Maria, you want to go next? I'll go next. All right. For me, the pandemic, what I've learned are opportunities regarding the pandemic.
Excuse me, who's speaking?
My name is Juan Aguilar. I'm the mayor of the city of Livingston.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Sorry.
And for me, would be just being more appreciative, taking opportunity to give a helping hand to those in need, assisting those most in need in the community, especially with those losing their jobs and having difficulties with their housing. So that's giving me just being more appreciative of what I have, the people we have around us. So that's for the pandemic. For 2022, I would like to see more economic development, like I was mentioned a few times, more housing opportunities from all levels, affordable housing, low-income housing, more businesses in town to provide, job opportunities for our community, more close-knit, trusting community that we help each other and we trust each other. For 2024, same thing with our volunteer chief. I would like to see a fire station. And the reason behind that is because I would like to have a good infrastructure, looking up further than 2024, having the ability to provide our own fire service in our city. So having that infrastructure will be very important. And then, just continuation of building, a good city that provides good services, well-rounded services from economic opportunities to medical needs, social needs, mental health needs, education needs, all that good stuff. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Great. Next speaker.
Good evening. This is Councilmember Maria Soto. One of the greatest opportunities, and I believe for a minute we practiced unity. It was our ability to either come together through our compassion or through our compliance. So as we remain here in our situation, we are still practicing what we need to do, but we are also trying to find different ways to be available, accessible, and still find the growth that we need within our community, within our county, within our nation, throughout the world. So again, everybody coming together and trying to problem solve has either created a rather closeness and a different way of looking at our situations that can either impede our growth are continue to find ways that we can still thrive with the situations that we have been given. So again, we pray for those that need it most. And again, we just hope that we come out of this situation and take this opportunity to really reflect on how we live our lives and what we want moving forward. So with that, moving forward, what I'd like to see 2022 is that we need to fix our water, no doubt. We cannot bring in more businesses, more residents without fixing our water first. We've created ways to do that, and again, we've done it, but it's been an ongoing battle. Again, we want to get through that battle and find a real hardcore way to actually fix it, not talk about it, not keep putting it off towards other things, creating, and again, learning this and understanding it. I need more of the information. Again, that's why we're here at council. But fixing our water, I think, is a priority so that we are able to create all the infrastructure that we need to meet 2024, those goals and visions of the economic development, our agricultural community, the industrial businesses that we want within our areas that we have on the outskirts of Livingston and within our downtown. So again, we need to fix what we have. We need to utilize what we currently have. We need to be resourceful, not wasteful. And again, we need to take these opportunities to advance our towns with creativity and again, using progressive ideas that'll move us forward into the next century rather than trying to remain. Again, I love Livingston. I've been here nearly 50 years, and we are an agricultural community. We need to use that to our advantage. And again, there are other things that within our state that we have to look at, and water is one of the issues. So again, 2022, I'd like to see that we have solid ways to fix that rather than keep, for lack of a better term, band-aiding it. So that we can move into 2024 and actually see all these things that people are talking about that we want within our development, recreation, leadership, youth, safety, fire department, and that is also a great big need. So yes, that goes under 2022 as well for me. So that's where I see Livingston in our future.
Thank you, Councilman Soto. Thank you. Next speaker.
Good. I think we're done here with people in-house. Jose, you want to add? Okay. We'll move on to the people joining us via Zoom. I have a first person here, Bob. That's a Bob. You want to go ahead?
Bob is Bob Wallace, Chair of the Planning Commission. One of the greatest from the pandemic would be our need for vaccination, safety, and neighborhood support. And I live in Livingston, and the neighbors have been great, being the oldest one in this neighborhood. And everybody keeps an eye and knows, is offered to help anytime we need anything. So I think that's a great thing. For 2022 of June, I'd like to see the general plan finalized with plans and goals. And then that rolls over into 2024, both with commercial, housing, and the economic status. And then how big, because 2022 and 2024, how big do the citizens of Livingston want this town to grow? Do we want to be a Turlock? Do we want to be an Atwater? What is that growth potential? And that all rolls into the general plan, I think.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Great. Next speaker.
Thank you. I think Monica spoke already. Good job. We'll move on to Tom.
Yeah, thank you. Tom Collishaw. I'm the CEO of Self-Help Enterprises, a nonprofit. Worked in Merced County area for over 55 years.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Thanks for letting me join tonight. So the opportunity, I think, that comes out of the pandemic, by my count, at least half of the people have mentioned a need for more affordable housing. And I don't think you would have had that reveal itself quite that way 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So I think that creates a real opportunity for support for important new affordable housing opportunities. In 2022, by that time, I'd love to see our organization secure a site for affordable housing development that has service available to it or a plan to do that. And then by 2024, we want to move families into that affordable housing project, whatever it is. So we stand ready to work with the city to locate a site and move forward. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Good to see you. Next speaker.
Omar, our Recreation Commissioner, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that I've learned during this time of
Is this Mr. Herrera?
Yes, this is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. It's just that certain parts of the community have been able to come together during this time, and still with the limited resources that we've had due to having to be staying at home and in quarantine and all that, we've been able to do some things, but there's obviously other things within the city that we haven't been able to do, especially with the Rec Commission. You know, we weren't able to offer any recreational sports for the children, for the young adults of the city. We didn't have our Sweet Potato Festival, which really brings in a lot of people into the town and showcase the city and all that. And it's things that we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to spending more time within our own youth, within our own city, and making sure we invest within ourselves instead of trying to invest time and money in bringing other people that are technically, for lack of a better term, I guess, are not part of this community for the time being. I believe that we need to, before we start expanding and trying to bring in, you know, some of these outside influences and all that to showcase our city, we first need to develop ourselves. We first need to put more effort, more love into our own city before we could go showcasing ourselves outside of here. So that's one of the things, you know, within the next couple of years, hopefully next year with our 100-year, our centennial, we'll be able to showcase some of that. We'll be able to put some more love into our city. And hopefully by 2024, we could be in a spot that we'll be able to grow and be self-sustained, where we could show some pride in our city and show some of our younger generations that Livingston is here to stay, and they are their own identity. You know, one of the other speakers talked about, you know, are we going to be an Atwater? Are we going to be a Turlock and all that? I believe Livingston is Livingston. Livingston does not need to be an Atwater or a Turlock. We need to create our own identity, and hopefully we could get to that here within the next couple of years.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Next speaker.
Go to Jackie from Recreation.
Say the name again, please.
Our superintendent from Recreation, Jackie.
Hi, real quick. The greatest opportunity that I have learned is that I have time to do projects that I never got to get to. Number two, I am hoping by June 30th, 2022, we'll have received Prop 68. We will own the LFA building, and we are going to be talking to contractors about what kind of floor we want for our basketball court. And then number three, by June 30th, when we hit the deadline for Prop 68, we will be occupying the building, and the city will have a massive grand opening.
Got it. Thank you, Jackie. Next speaker.
Thank you. We'll go to Robert Godinez, our Recreation Commissioner.
Hi, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay. Greatest opportunity during the pandemic, I just believe work on our creativity and picking up new hobbies or new skill sets during this time. And for June 2022 in place, start working or come out with a plan to work on our lighting in here in town. It's pretty dark everywhere, so that's one thing I want to see in place. And then June 2024, start building or working on a sport complex in the area, and also other options of restaurants, not just fast food restaurants. Work on bringing in healthier alternatives for the community.
Mr. Galinas, was your initial indication was to work on a business complex? Is that what I heard you say?
Sports complex.
Oh, sports.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Great. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. The next speaker?
We'll go to Annan and Bath, our planning commissioner. Mr. Bath? Okay, we'll go now to Blanca Ojeda.
Oh, I think did we hear from you, Ms. Ojeda?
Okay, perfect. We'll go to...
Sorry, I didn't know the order, how we were doing this, and I just kind of jumped in earlier. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We got you. Thank you.
We'll go to Julio Millan, our recreation commissioner.
Hi, Julio Millan, Recreations Commission. What I've learned from the pandemic is probably be able to slow down and enjoy some more family time. I know we're in the rush with everything, and it's really since we can't go anywhere, kind of slow down and spend more time with family. For 2022, I think I'd like to see our kids back playing sports. Start getting them out of the house, getting them to run around, get them some physical activity, helping them out, also helping them out with some mental. I know they're kind of cooped up in the house, so get them out of the house. And for 2024, I'd like to see a plan of a sports complex. I think a big crucial part of the city would be for getting different ways for the rec department to be self-sufficient, figuring different ways to produce their own revenue so they have pay for pretty much everything on their own, and they don't have to go into the general fund that the city uses. That way they can use it for something else.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Julio.
We'll go next with
next speaker?
Linda Dell. Linda? Okay, we'll go on to Catherine Shell Rodriguez.
Yeah, I had to unmute here. As far as opportunities, it came out of the pandemic, expanding the ways that people can communicate with one another and also with the city. I'd like to see that grow. By 2022, as we are working on the general plan and the zoning code, I'd like to see that housing is not dependent totally on electricity. Reason being that when last time we had the power go out, I could still heat my house and I could still cook because I had gas lines. Whereas people who are totally on electricity, when the grid fails or there's interruptions, they're just totally out of luck. And on that line, by 2024, I would like to see a community-wide disaster response plans that includes churches and service organizations so that we can respond in the future for things like, God forbid, a second virus like COVID or a power that goes out for several days or some other event that might affect the city as a whole and the residents as a whole.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. And another speaker?
We have a phone number, don't have a name, but it's a 756-7018. Okay, we have another number with a 408-53. Okay, and I believe anybody else on the line on Zoom that didn't get a chance to speak?
Great.
I think that's
Thank
everything.
you. You could hear the themes, you could hear the patterns, you could hear the interests. I'm going to draw your attention back to those who are in the chamber. See the posters, the flip chart pages posted. For those online, there were 9 primary areas of interest and concern that were identified and have been sort of the guiding, if you will, guiding construct for the city moving forward over the past 4 years. Those all gathered into these following areas. And the things that you have all said this evening fall into these areas: leadership, education, youth, community, recreation, growth in terms of infrastructure, and growth in terms of economic development, financial stability, sustainability, and self-sufficiency, all of those together in that construct of growth. Safety and agriculture and farming. What we did the last session when we were all together in the room, we had those pages posted so that those in the room could go to those pages, and there are marking pens available, and write your thoughts about questions that need to be answered, strategies that could be employed, goals that we would want to attain and achieve. Because when you take all of the comments that you all have made this evening and the things that are written both on those charts, and for those of us who are remote, you could write into the chat box or you could email. That those will give an opportunity for every voice that is at the chamber table or the Zoom table this evening. This is an opportunity to be heard, give your ideas, to pose your questions, to give your thoughts. And so at this juncture, what I'd like to do is invite the folks that are there in the chamber to take some time to go to those charts and think about maybe, I don't know how long, Mayor, 15 minutes? 10?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking about the time that we would allot. I'm not sure how much more time you want to allot to this whole piece, this whole workshop that we're doing. But the idea now is for folks to be able to, those that are there in person can go to those charts and write their ideas, their questions, their strategies, their goals. Here's what will happen with those pages. There will be photographs made of those, and those, along with the recording and the notes I've made tonight, I will take all of those and develop a coordinated report of this evening. Then those who are online, those who are remote, can take this opportunity to input into the chat, or you can email. Either way, what we will make sure that we get, and if you're doing that, make sure you do it within the next day or two, so that we can get all that information and pull it together, type it up, and not just transcribe it so that it's in all kind of scattered. It's take it all and pull it together so that it really does make coordinated sense of what the combined voices are saying about what you want to see happen and what questions you want answered in all of those 9 areas that have been developed and that you've been working on as you're moving forward today from before. That all making sense?
Yes, let's shoot for about 15 minutes to get an opportunity for everybody to go out and write, and then we'll check in and see where we're at that time.
Right, and so those of you who are online that are remote, please go into the chat area and write whatever your ideas are. And if you'd like, I can reiterate those 9 areas. And I will be receiving those chat notes.
Dr. Ryle, we wrote them in the chat box so folks can look at those 9 areas.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you. I did not look in on. Perfect. So go into the chat box, take a look what's there. Go ahead and add your thoughts. You are invited. You can put your name or not. You can put your role or not. It's up to you. The key is that we have everybody's thoughts. So we'll take about a 15-minute period to do all of that input. We are right at 7:01 right now, so let's say 7:15. We'll come back all together and do a quick summary. All right.
So here in the chamber, you'll notice that there's some Post-its up there, and you'll see growth, economic development, financial stability, sustainable, self-sufficient, recreation, leadership, education, youth, community, growth infrastructure, and then over here you have safety, ag, and farming. So in those different categories, whatever your thoughts are, you have a marker. Go ahead and put down your vision and your goals for those sectors. And of course, those that are online, you'll use the chat box, and we posted those different categories. And you can just put the heading and then put down your thoughts underneath that. Thank you. Sí, específicamente.
Reminder, 5 more minutes. Okay, Mr. Mayor, the clock has rolled over to 7:15. Has everyone had an opportunity to get their thoughts up on the posters? Check it in.
Another 5 more minutes. Another 5 more minutes, Dr. Rao.
Do we need 5 more minutes? Okay.
Yeah. All right, Jackie, you can start rolling them in if you want to.
Are we good? Are we good? Did everybody get a chance to get up to the boards and get back to their seat?
Yeah, let's see if our technician in the back can zoom the camera a little bit, maybe. Let's see.
That'd be cool.
All right, folks. They jotted down quite a bit, Dr. Ryle, I can tell you.
Yeah.
And I can see online, boy, they've been, I can smell burnt keyboards. Okay.
Your sound just disappeared.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Okay, good.
The mayor's on the dais.
Hello, I'm back.
So I'd like to take just a moment to do a little summary. May I do that?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, number one, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's on the charts. Number two, I've had a chance to review the chat. Thank you so much, everyone. Everything that's been generated is going to fit into these areas. I noticed the question about affordable housing in what category. That clearly is infrastructure. The infrastructure in your community, if those things are present, then all of that is intertwined because that meets the needs of citizens. Let me just quickly say, I looked through all of the responses, and folks, these are the kinds of things that gather under your primary headings. For example, leadership, unity, coming together, working together, and the leadership that's needed to achieve everything. Education, opportunities during COVID around education and different methods of learning, and also education as relates to sports and a sports complex. Youth learning in new ways, youth engagement, youth back in sports, and a sports complex. These things fit all through here. Community really that's a strong area. Community, unity, coming together, working together, coming together around the centennial, being your own community, using your creativity, gaining knowledge through the museum, and members of the community knowing what resources are there, knowing things like what rights are available. All of that gathers under community. Under recreation, the return to sports, the sports complex, all of those things fit under their growth and the areas of growth as relates to infrastructure. So, think in terms of improved internet, that's infrastructure, affordable and low-income housing, the whole general plan, all of the infrastructure in that, new fire station, fixing the water, sports complex, veterans housing, multiple family housing, all of that goes within your area of infrastructure. Economic growth, that the general plan is there. The use of technology, sustainability, more business, all of these opportunities around that kind of growth. Safety, it talked about folks being more informed about safety now that they've learned. Community coming together and working together. Infrastructure in place like lighting and the firehouse, all of that has to do with safety. And ag and farming, obviously the area that we're in, the entire economic sustainability piece that's a large piece of that. So you can see that what you've said this evening and what you've been putting in the chat area, and as I said, I can't wait to see what's on those charts. All of that pulls together, and what that says is that you are retaining these same areas of interest and concern about your community, and the ideas you're coming up with are going to take you forward with that. This has been wonderful. I wish I could see you more, but I've been able to hear you, and I can almost see when I hear you. So this has just been a wonderful way to come together and to be able to do this, even though not everyone can get together in the same room. You've demonstrated tonight what you've talked about with your words, about coming together, communicating together, and making things happen as a community. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Yeah,
Mayor, are there any additional questions?
Yeah, Dr. Ryle, we'll zoom in with the camera so you could see.
Great.
So hold on one second here. And folks should be able to zoom in a little bit forward there. There we go. So you could kind of take a quick peek at a number of different comments and in different colors there. So that gives you a nice little glimpse of
Now, that has not appeared on my screen, Mayor.
She's not getting there on her screen.
Right, that's not appearing on my screen.
You want to read some off, Jose?
Yeah, let me do
have
that.
Jose read some off just for
All
the
right.
record.
In terms of under the category of growth, economic development, financial stability, self-sufficiency, we have workforce housing, we have mixed housing stock, single family, multifamily, townhouses, VA housing, so a great variety. I'm sure that they wanted to even add senior housing in there, I'm sure. Industrial park. Say that again, Dr. Warrell.
I said, if you do it. Any ideas? Oh, there they are. I can see them now. Any ideas that you have, that you're looking at, I would say to you, go ahead and add stuff. Great.
All right. So then we have commercial plan. Make sure that we address the general plan. We look to bring in more jobs, more businesses, more commercial, more business. Focus on Hammett Avenue side, county city revenue sharing agreement, indoor cannabis industry, Foster Farms point of sale, complete utility rate study, complete update fees, recreation, planning, utilities. So that's all under growth, economic development, and self-sufficiency.
Great.
Under recreation, we have soccer fields. Boy, a lot of folks like to see that. Baseball field complex, indoor baseball, multi-use facility, indoor facility, online payment platforms. I know who wrote that. Bowling alley, a drive-in theater, or theater, movie arts, performing arts, all wheels parks, Broom Broom, or Boom Boom, I guess that's a bicycle, and improve adult recreation opportunity programs, automate facility rental process. So that's under recreation. Under leadership, you have city council educational classes, roundtable made up of local residents, business, elected officials, farmers, educators, students, employees. Utilize youth leadership to assist with local programs, outreach efforts from local leadership to promote trust, collaboration, community, transparency, love, and keep community informed. So that's under leadership. Under education, you have our kids, something on class. Got to figure that one out.
Make sure you get that clarified before I get it so I can type it right.
Active classrooms, I guess. Oh, our kids back to classrooms. Got it.
Oh, good. Fix it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. More outreach and collaboration with UC Merced, Stanislaus State for our kids programs, private education opportunities for youth, mentorship programs with different professional backgrounds, business owner youth for the youth, parent education. So that's all under education. Then we have growth and infrastructure, ACE train station, a watchful eye on our growth, giving the opportunity for help and to explain the rules and have everyone agreeing on a large growth. Broadband, Wi-Fi for everybody, fast electronic charging stations, responsible growth and not exceeding the city limits ability to support such growth, balance of residential and commercial industry. Yes, water quality infrastructure and get it done. Then right over here we have youth. More opportunities to get involved in the community, continue our Explorer PD program and begin a fire department Explorer program. More programs for 14 and 18-year-olds, after school and city programs, skateboard park, apprenticeship program. And then we have community. Multicultural events together, support downtown businesses. We need them. First, get them here, attract them new. There's a lot of dog parks needed, affordable housing, more murals, vaccines for all, jogging and walking paths, local newsletter. And then finally, if the camera can catch me, let's see. Can you find me? All right, he can find me. Ag and farming. We got farmers market, help regulate or regulatory or find regulatory help and support. And local ag, reach out to farmers at least every week in the summer. Cannabis, better collaboration relationship with ag industry. Value-added opportunities. What that means is, if you take the sweet potato, you cut it up, freeze dry it, and sell it for sweet potato fries. That's an example. Local farmers to showcase their communities and market through small businesses. So that's ag farming. And then we have the last category, which is safety. Under safety, we have new Livingston Fire Station. I know who wrote that. Maintain, improve law enforcement levels. Police Oversight Committee. Reevaluate police duties. Total fire department infrastructure. Staff levels to be appropriate, and equipment, engine, truck, reserve program, maintain and expand the volunteer program, training facility, help for our cats, not only our dogs, programs, spay and neuter programs for the dogs, cats and dogs. Strengthen police force with community involvement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it, Dr. Arrao. So there was a mouthful there.
That it was, but you see, every single piece of that is relevant, and it all ties together. So this is going to give you decision makers some really good ideas and possibilities to continue your planning process and to achieve those goals that you've been talking about. Great work. Thank you. Thanks for reading that off and me being able to see that. That was great. I captured a couple of little small pictures while you were doing that.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, I don't have anything else to add. Is there anything else that you need from me tonight?
No, I'm just going to give everybody an opportunity, or the different the commissions an opportunity to ask any questions. If anybody has any questions, we'll start off with the Planning Commission. Any planning commissioners have any questions? Okay.
This is Jason Robb.
Go ahead.
Just want to say thank you. Very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about our Recreation Commission? Any questions from the commissioners? I don't hear any. How about our council members? Any questions, comments? No? Okay, in regards to myself, I just really appreciate everybody's input. We really we're looking forward to this workshop, and I'm very glad that we were able to get people to participate in person and via Zoom. To us, it's very important that we get that community input and in regards to our vision and what we want to work towards, and prioritizing our work here in the city. And as elected officials, we couldn't be happier to provide this platform to invite the community to participate. So I really appreciate everybody coming here and participating via Zoom. I'm very happy, and thank you, council, commissioners, everybody. Dr. Jackie Fry, thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Or Ryle, sorry. And looking forward to that report. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.